Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. We'll be decluttering some of my beauty collection, so let's get into it. So this video is part of my declutter series where I go through my collection, declutter things that I no longer use or products that have expired. Nothing will be thrown away that's usable. I'll be giving those to family and friends. So I will only throw away items that are truly unusable. So let's get into it and see what I'm decluttering today. So today's declutter will be a little bit of a random one. I just went through my collection and grabbed things that need to go. So let's start with something that I will have to just throw away. This one is from Scone. This is their brow wand eyebrow pencil, and I think this one is pretty old, so I'm not saying that it's the product's fault. However, this is completely dried up. There's nothing coming from it. This is rock solid hard, so probably a reason for me to declutter more often is that I have products in my collection that go bad before I get to it. I've used this a little bit, but honestly I have no recollection what it was like. I feel like it must have not been the greatest since I forgot about it and it went bad, and I feel like the spoolie was a little bit big for me. So all in all, not a favorite product. Clearly nothing remarkable since I forgot about it and it dried up. Another item that I won't be giving to anyone is from Pacifica. This is their Stellar Gaze Length and Strength Mineral Mascara. And the reason I'm not giving this away is because I do not think giving someone a used mascara is hygienic. I think you can easily get some sort of eye infection just because the bacteria in our eyes might be different. So I'm just gonna let go of this, but this really did very little to my lashes. It maybe like added a darker coat, so my fair lashes were no longer fair, but it didn't add length or volumize, so I'm gonna let go of it. This was just a mini sample size, and honestly I expected more from it because I remember someone really hyping it up. I have two SPFs here. The first one is from Cocokind, and this is their Daily SPF facial sunscreen lotion, and this one has expired, and I think you can use products after their expiry date. I don't think it's like an automatic throw it away, with the exception of sunscreen. I've noticed that SPFs are never that good after they have expired, so this one was never a favorite, which is why there's about half of it left. It's a good sunscreen, however it has a pretty bad white cast on my skin, and I have a pretty fair skin, so I can imagine this looking even worse if you have a deeper skin tone. And I can't get the white cast to go away. If I rub it in really well, sure it goes away, but then I have to use minimal sunscreen to be able to do that, which means I'm not getting the full SPF 32 out of it. So this is just not my favorite. I know some other people can make it work under makeup, but I want an SPF that works on a day when I'm not wearing makeup as well, and this one has the white cast that doesn't work for me. Like I said, a good SPF, nothing wrong with the sun protection part of it. I'm just not the biggest fan of how this sits on my skin. And the same is true for this other SPF. I've used about half of this. I've really tried to make this work. I love Cocokind and I love Murad, but this SPF is just not for me. This is their Environmental Shield Correct and Protect Serum Broad Spectrum SPF 45. I really like the higher SPF, and I don't mind the dropper either. I think the dropper is quite easy to use. My problem is with this that it sits on my skin weird, and this one doesn't have that big of a white cast, maybe a little bit, but it's not as noticeable. The thing is, after this dries, it sort of like crumbles off my skin. I feel like there's like a grainy consistency after I've applied this, and I've tried to make it work. As I love Murad, I've tried to make it work in multiple ways, but it doesn't look good under makeup. It looks grainy there too, so I'm sad to have to let go of this, but it just isn't for me. Maybe it works better on an oily skin or something like that, but for me, I have drier skin and this becomes grainy and kind of ruins my makeup, so I'm gonna let go of it. Murad has many other SPFs that are so much better than this one, so this is just not a favorite and will have to go. Next up, I have a primer from Almay. This is their Skin Perfecting Comfort Care Primer, Smooth Hydrate perfect. And honestly, this is not a bad product. There's nothing really wrong with this, and I'm gonna see if a friend would like it. It does have this kind of silicone-y feel to it, which I don't know, I don't think it really does a whole lot on my skin. It maybe smooths a little bit, but I just rather skip this step. I never really picked this up. I tried using it several times. I tried putting it on my vanity. I still didn't use it. So I'm gonna let go of it and see if someone else would like it. Someone that uses primers more often. I think this will be great for a normal skin. I think it is very smoothing. Maybe if you have a textured skin, this might be a good base for that, but I just never use it and I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm gonna give it forward to someone else. Another base product that's completely different is this one from Hard Candy, and this is their Sheer Envy Glow Primer. This is kind of luminous serum primer, and I honestly really like this one. The way it sits on my skin, it's kind of like some of those bronzer drops that people really like. It gives my skin this lovely glow and it feels really hydrating. Now you might ask, why am I letting go of this if I'm speaking so highly of it? It's because it has a very potent scent to it, kind of perfumey scent that I just cannot stand. And this is like a personal preference, but I smell it all the time and I don't like it. I wish they had made this either unscented or maybe a bit more neutral scent, because this one's really strong, and since I do put it close to my nose, it just smells there all the time. But as a product, this is really good. It is very illuminating. If you have dry skin, you might really like this, and if you're not sensitive to scents, this might not be a problem for you. It has vitamin C, peptides, hyaluronic acid, all the good stuff. But I can't get over the scent, so I'm gonna have to let it go. I hope someone else will enjoy this. Now, another kind of creamy complexion product I'm letting go of is from CoverGirl, and this is their Clean Fresh All Over Dewy Tint Eyes, Lips, Cheeks, and this one is in the shade Toasty Nude. I think the problem with this one is just color. The color is not for me at all, but it might be something other people enjoy. So here's the shade Toasty Nude. I think it is beautiful. It's just not for me, and sometimes I feel like it leaves my skin feeling a little sticky, but I'm not a fan of this kind of product. And if I use kind of a liquid blush type of thing, it's usually kind of reddish, not this kind of toasty nude. I think on my skin tone it even looks a little bit like I rubbed dirt on it, just because this tint isn't for me. So I'm going to see if someone else would like this one. I don't think the product itself is bad, so if you do like this kind of multi-use tint product, you might really like it, and this shade might work for you, but it isn't for me, so I'm going to let go of it. Now I have 3 mini palettes here, and they're all something that came in my Ipsy bags. And I know I've been really bad at updating my thoughts on the Ipsy bags, but here's the first one, Phase Zero Santorini Quad Eyeshadow Palette. And honestly, this one is a beautiful palette. It has really lovely tones. I created a look with this today just to test it out. The formula is great. However, I have these shades so many times. I don't need this, and I feel like it's taking space in my vanity. It's also missing like a deeper outer corner shade. I'll put a picture here where I created a look with this today, so you'll see how pretty it is. And I had to go into this Deep Smoke KAB Cosmetics mini palette and grab that deeper tone here to get that eye look working. And all of these shades are beautiful, and that shade was really good as well. So I was able to create a lovely look with these shades, but I have them in so many palettes. I don't need either of them. I think I might take this with me on my next trip and see if I'll get some use out of it. But I think I'm just gonna declutter it after that, because I just don't need these shades, even though the formula is really good. And I swatched them real quick there. I didn't swatch this shade because it barely shows up on my skin tone, but these shimmers are beautiful. I think all in all, Phase Zero formula was really good quality. Then I have the KAB Cosmetics mini palette in Deep Smoke, and this color story just isn't for me, although these shades again are beautiful. These shimmers especially are so buttery. I think if you like this color story, you might really like this one. I swatched them there. I mean, look at that gold. That is stunning. And I think the purple looks really deep in the pan, but when I apply it, it looks lovely. All these shades are really beautiful. I, again, just have them in so many different palettes. I don't need this one. I think this was a points purchase for me, and I think I purchased it with points because my points were expiring. I really didn't need this. I should have just given this to someone before using it, but you know, I just wanted to test out the formula, and I do think the formula is really good. So if you like this color story and see this as Ipsy's points purchase, I do recommend it. I just don't need it, and I'm decluttering it. And the last one is something that survived the declutter while back. So this is Lower East Side City Chic mini palette through Ipsy as well. And this is just a very neutral palette. I think these shades are something, again, that I have in so many different palettes. I don't need these shades, and there they are. I didn't swatch again this fair shade because it doesn't show up, but these are really beautiful as well. The shimmer isn't maybe as beautiful as the one in Phase Zero, but this was totally usable travel palette. Again, I just have so many, I don't need it, and it already survived one declutter, so now I'm gonna really let go of it. The last two items are things that I'm letting go of because I had an allergic reaction to both of them. I swatched them here, so hopefully they won't cause me issues there, but I think it was just near my eyes. So the first one is from Beauty For Real, and this is their Twilight Liquid Eyeshadow, and I feel like I talked about this in another video. It does look really pretty, but it burned my eyelids, and now it looks kind of grainy too, so I think I'm gonna have to throw it away. It may have been like on its last leg when I got it, and I don't want to give this to anyone so they don't have a reaction to it. But beautiful color, but yes, it burns so bad. If you have this one, let me know if you had any issues with it. It could be just me, but I think now the texture has changed, so I'm gonna let go of it. And then the other one is Shades by Shen, the gel eyeliner in Tapioca Pearl, and I believe I got this one in an Ipsy bag. And usually when I get an eyeliner in Ipsy bag, I just give it to someone else because I have so many, but I thought the shade Tapioca Pearl was so different from other things in my collection. It's kind of a pearly black, so I was really excited to try it on my eyes, but again, it burned. I couldn't find a ingredient here that matched the liquid eyeshadow and see what it was that was burning, but I can't use it. And again, I don't feel like I want to give it to someone since it burned my eyes, so I'm gonna let go of it. I think eyeliners are something you can maybe give to someone else if you take like a little bit of it off, even though it's used in an eye. I don't want anyone else to test it out and see if they have a similar issue, so I'm gonna let go of it. So these are all the items that are leaving my collection this time. On this side, I have things that I have to throw away either because they have expired, like these two. They caused an allergic reaction. This one had dried up, and I don't think mascara is something you should give to another person. And then on this side are things that I'm gonna see if someone else would like to give them a try. I know I really am so bummed with this Hard Candy Sheer Envy Glow because I love the end result. I just can't handle the scent. Even now when I applied it on my arm, I could smell it and I still can. Like, it's just such a strong scent and not a pleasant scent. I can handle a stronger scent that if it is like a pleasant scent, but to me this one isn't. It's some sort of like a dated floral that I cannot pinpoint. Then I have the mini palettes that are all actually really good quality, some better than others, but I just don't need them in my collection, so I'm going to let go of them. I never use this primer even though there's nothing wrong with it, so I'm gonna see if someone else would get some use out of it. Same thing with this All Over Dewy tint from CoverGirl. Really, I think this is a product you either like or not, so if you do like this type of products, I do think the formula is really nice. The shade just isn't for me. Are any of these products something you have in your collection? Would you have kept any of these? I am curious to hear your thoughts, but thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, I hope you subscribe, and if you like these type of declutter videos, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. But thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.